emergency, like a battery. I'm staying charged on my feet, I'm like a factory. Dropping lines like an assembly, I'm staying on point, it's my strategy. What's going on, guys? Welcome to ZukaTube, and today we're going to be reviewing Titans Season 3, Episode 7, titled 51%. And they'll explain this in the episode, and I'll talk about it a little bit, what they mean by 51%. But there's no real promo to play for this. I was talking about it in the review I have for Stargirl Season 2, Episode 6, where all the stuff that was coming from the DC Universe app that now is available on the HBO Max streaming is not really filled with any episode-to-episode promos. It just kind of had like season promos generally. And I always like to play them in the beginning. But either way, I'm going to do a little summary stuff. I'll play a couple clips and stuff of some cool things that happened in the episode, I thought. And then I'll do some spoilers at the end after I give my review, right? So let's get right into this whole thing here. And it starts off after Tim Drake's restaurant gets shot up. And Barbara hears the news and tells Dick about the whole situation that's going on out there. And basically, Scarecrow seems like he's not necessarily mad at Jason for running off, but definitely is pissed that it's going to like potentially interrupt his plans right now and doesn't want anything to happen. So like he gives him like a dodgy inhaler and he ends up passing out, right? And then Scarecrow meets with all the crime families and starts getting his drugs out there and everything. You know, he's trying to do his whole thing. And like a dozen people have already died from just a few inhalers, so the Titans team is really trying to figure out what to do here. And of course they kind of put this episode on like a tight squeeze, you know. And Dick gets Barbara to use Oracle to find more information, you know, but the Scarecrow apparently has access to the Oracle because, like, you know, he is hacked into it somehow or whatever, right? And has been watching them and is kind of like a step ahead in a way in part of this, right? And they start checking specific locations that are capable of housing like what the Scarecrow is using. And there's like about an hour countdown basically until things kind of go into effect and these drugs really start shipping out and become hard to keep out of people's hands, right? And Starfire and Blackfire are basically, you know, talking, and the 51% part comes up where they say basically if a decision is 51% good and 49% bad, you take that chance one way or another because that's just the better one to go for. And Starfire and Blackfire end up working out a deal with a crime boss to help her find her son. And when they do, she ends up shooting him in the head for working with the FBI or some shit, right? And Starfire is like, whatever, shakes hands with the lady and burns her to a crisp, right? So like, check this shit out. Michael, it's so good to see you.
I only came because Starfire.
Dang. Smoked her kid right there.
What a surprise.
He was working for the FBI.
Huh.
Became a liability.
Damn, became a liability.
I promised him he would be safe. Never make promises you can't keep. Speaking of which, you did your part, I'll do mine. I'll tell you what I know about Crane.
I like to shake on my deals.
Shake on that deal.
Fair enough, Titan.
I'm not only a Titan.
Dang, not only a Titan. I'm a queen and I'm gonna give you a real spicy handshake right now. She's like, what? What are you doing, dude? Oh! Getting crispy. Awesome. So, you see that? That's a kind of pretty cold decision right there, right? She's a little out of control and ends up not getting the information, really. But they find ways one way or the other, right? And one of her henchmen ends up giving up the information. And they find out that it all leads to an ice cream factory, right? And it's an ice cream factory that you end up seeing, I believe, in the like Arkham games and stuff like that. I'm not like super familiar with it, but and I forget what it's called too, but they show it for a flash in the beginning when they get there. And before I get into this whole thing, basically at this point they know, you know, where Scarecrow is. They're on to try to get this poison and this toxin from getting out. You know what I mean? They're gonna stop all these crime bosses. It's a big thing, right? And before I get into the last bit, which is the spoilers and stuff like that, I want to give you my overall review for this episode. I would give this episode a solid 8 out of 10. This one's really cool. There's a lot of action, a lot of real fun interaction, you know, with the villains and stuff, and other smaller, you know, like as you see, crime bosses and stuff like that in this. And it's cool to see all the Titans get to really show off some of their abilities when they do get on the scene and kind of start fighting all these henchmen and stuff like that, right? So now let's get into the spoilers section here. Spoilers. Spoiled. Boop-a-doop, boop-a-doop-a-doop. Okay, so right, they all get the information and they end up going to this ice cream factory. You know, the Titans all suit up and shit, right? And they go in and kick some ass and blow up some of the equipment, right? And Scarecrow is freaking out and he's so pissed off, and him and Jason end up getting out of there, right? And let me just show you a little bit of them kind of going in, fighting and taking down all this stuff and getting this done in time before it kind of gets out to the public in mass.
He's here.
What?
He's here.
This way. I heard something.
Jason knows about that, dude.
Over here, fellas.
Dang, look, Starfire and Blackfire are suited up, though.
No. No.
Dun, 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 dun. Dang, doggy. Nightwing is always awesome in all his scenes. Dang, dude. Sick. With his little glow sticks. Like he's raving and shit.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
Yep. Stand back.
Boom. Blows up the equipment. Cheesy effects right there, but obviously Scarecrow is pissed. Dang. Then Gar snaps in there, right? Does some badass shit. Obviously they show everybody else too. They show Superboy doing some cool stuff too and everything like that. But look, he just gets the one beast claw and like hits the dude, which I thought was really awesome to see, like that kind of stuff go down. And that'll be really cool to see as the show progresses, him getting more control, maybe independently of his limbs, and like getting cool shit. Like be sick for him to go to kick somebody and it just turns into like a straight up elephant foot and like boom, blasts him. Or like, and he kicks doors open like that or something. I don't know, just cool shit. But after that, they show everybody like kind of doing a little bit of celebrating, you know, after the whole deal. Titans are celebrating, and Dick and Barbara end up doing a little extra celebrating, and they get into some, you know, spicy snugs, basically, you know. And Beast Boy, right, finds stuff in Jason's room and a letter from the girl Molly they had previously shown in another episode. And basically, like, he ends up tracking her down and tries to get her to help get Jason back, basically. And here's a little clip of him kind of going on his own and just trying to have like a one-on-one, you know, not like kind of storming in and be like, hey, we need you kind of deal. Just trying to be like, hey, you know, I really need your help on this. Again, he's a really cool character. You know, Gar's pretty legit. I would like him to be a little more over the top and silly, obviously, and I really wish Cyborg would come in this from Doom Patrol, but nothing yet.
Molly? I'm Gar
Molly?
Logan. You might know me from the Titans. You wrote this letter to Jason Todd saying you wanted to help him. So do I.
Dang. Nope. Just kidding. She's here to help, man. So we'll see where that goes. And obviously they want to take a more sympathetic route and to a degree and try to just snap him out of the whole situation. But at the same time, like, I can't really see doing that, you know, like he's already killed a ton of people and they're not really for necessarily killing people in mass like that. You know, I mean, if you have to, I mean, some of the characters have been known to kill people. Obviously, you see Starfire killing people, which some of the characters wouldn't agree with. Like, especially Gar, you see after he's done all this and even killed Hank, you know, he's really going to be like, oh, you know, let's try to get Jason back. You really going to be able to deal with him in the room next to you knowing that, like, he got a little fucked up and, like, went and killed, like, one of your other brothers, basically, in this whole family? I don't know, man. That's going to be an intense conflict, I feel like, as things progress, if they even get him to kind of snap out of it. And I think that they should kind of keep the villain aspect going for as long as they can in this season. I think we're about halfway through right now. But, again, I'd give this episode, like, a solid 8 out of 10. Pretty enjoyable and really cool to see the Titans like really rounded up and in action, and I can't wait till everybody really gets back on the team and you see like Raven come back and you see like maybe Wonder Girl, you know what I mean, and Dove and everything. So, and obviously I'm a little bummed that that Hank's gone, you know, because he was like one of my favorite characters. He had like, you know, the most enjoyable and funny kind of personality so far, and I really wish we would get more of that from Gar, from Beast Boy, but we're not yet. But I still feel like there's time. Right now, like, he's a little softy, and I ain't really down with that aspect of things. But obviously, I really enjoyed seeing him whoop some ass and get his little, like, lion claw and smack that dude up. But let's see where the next episode goes. See you next week for episode 8. ZukaTube out. Feel like they tracking me. Yo, let me get on one. Nah, go get your tracks up. Homie, can I steal some? Homie, you can't stack up. My brother, can you shout me? You're barking up the wrong tree. My dog, why do you doubt me? Cause you can't do shit without me. Real like the radio and never play it, but that's cool. The enemy's supposed to hate it.